Welcome to Blue Tinted Glasses, the home of Leicester City talk on YouTube. Fan debates, live watch-alongs, post-match reactions, and all the Fox's banter you could ask for. Subscribe now and see the game through Blue Tinted Glasses.
Good evening and welcome back to Blue Tinted Glasses for another late night Leicester. Something slightly different, as always on a late night Leicester. It's not going to be about Leicester, funny enough. But yeah, we've got some good guests with us today, and we're going to be talking about something a little bit fun. So before we get into it, Anil, what's going on with you, mate? How are you?
Yeah, all good. Other than World War III kicking off, it looks like. Although I think I say that every other week. I'm all good.
Yeah. Are you talking about the channel, or are you talking about the world? Which one?
It could be both, to be honest. Could be a little bit from column A, a little bit from column B. Why not?
Yeah, absolutely. Chris, mate, from LTID TV, of course. How are you, mate?
I'm very well, thank you. How the devil are you three?
All good. And back for his second show. He was on the call-in with us last week. Gaz, all the way from sunny Wales. How are you doing,
Sunny
mate?
South Wales. Yeah. Nearly Friday, innit? Nearly Friday.
Yeah. It's been a long week. I think it's dragged, to be honest. But
I agree.
Hey ho. I bet it has for Docklin, Andreas in Denmark with all these UFOs going overhead. Well, they're either UFOs or Russia, one of the two. I don't know what's worse, to be fair.
Wow, my World War III quote, I think I know where they're from. So
Yeah, absolutely. Hello to Mark, mate. Hope you're doing well. Kunal as well. And Fossub, hello to you, mate. Okay, so I asked the guys to kind of attempt to put together what they think is the all-time Premier League 11. Because as we know, football only started in 1992, so we're going in the Premier League.
Facts.
Although Chris would be able to go back to 1925, I think.
Yeah. Go on. You just debate. If you have to nip off to change your nappy at any time, Rob, we'll carry on without you.
Yeah, mate, absolutely. So I wanted to start with. I didn't ask you this, so it's just come to my mind. Manager. Let's just have a very quick chat. Who do we think is the best manager in Premier League history? Because this is always an interesting one. It was always Fergie. It was always for years people said Fergie. More recently, though, people have said Pep. Others have said Wenger. I don't know about that one. But let me ask you first, Adil, mate. What are you thinking? Because we know Pep's had the biggest influence, I think, on football in Europe, but obviously in England as well. But Fergie, he was the master of man management.
He's rebuilt teams several times. And I also think the last title that he won, if you look at how bad Man United are, the season after he left, it shows you that he could get people to run through, quicksand for him. Somehow he could make, Darren Fletcher look like a world-class player. So he was amazing. But I think very specifically, the fact that he rebuilt the team like 2 or 3 times, changed the formation, the style of play, had the balls to blood all these youngsters that turned out to be Premier League legends. It's funny because I think, I love the tactics show, and I think tactically Fergie was not particularly special at all, right? But it shows you that for as much as I talk the tactics, it's probably only 10% of the game. And it turns out that, giving it your all and being mentally switched on at all times is a huge amount of thing. And if there's a better man manager than him in the history of football, even, I haven't seen it. Incredible. And I hated him when he was around, but after he went, fair play to him. And I will also say to him that I think one thing that I think massive credit to him, when Wenger had his last game in Old Trafford and Mourinho was in charge, he did that class act of giving him a handshake and sort of saying real recognizes real. They're like, this guy was one of the few people that made me sweat. And during their time as managers, they hated one another. But I felt that was extremely classy that he could do that. So top guy, I think. Yeah.
Let me come to you next, Gaz, because one name I never mentioned was, Jose. There's one as well.
Yeah,
he didn't win as many titles as the others, but he's definitely got some achievements in his career. Who are you swaying towards, mate? Because I saw you raise an eyebrow when we said Fergie, so I'm guessing it's him.
It's so hard, isn't it? It's so hard to look away from the success Ferguson had. But I think there's going to be a real risk tonight of me showing my age as well. I think what a lot of people forget is how difficult his start at United was. Is that he really wasn't successful in the first few seasons. And I think his career was hinging on a cup game against Palace at one point at United. And, as we were saying the other night, the opportunity to kind of stick with our manager and give him that platform to build a team many times over, there was a chance that might have never happened for him. But it's so hard to look away from the success Fergie had. I mean, yeah, Anil's absolutely right. Like he didn't have the flash of your Mourinho, did he? He certainly had the combativeness, but he didn't have the abrasion of your Mourinho. And I remember watching the Unbeatables as well, that undefeated Arsenal team. It's a hell of an achievement, isn't it? And the football they played was always something special to watch. But it's hard to look away from Fergie after the success over that period of time. Really difficult for anyone to challenge him.
Yeah, Chris. I think it's a generational thing. I mean, I'm younger, so I think my answer is Pep, because Pep has adapted in many ways in the short, 10 years, 9 years he's been in England. It's not just the same old, people just think, it's tippy-tappy, Pep ball, tiki-taka for the last 9 years. It's not. He's adapted it. He's changed the system quite a bit. You see him going through a phase now which is different to what it was 5 years ago. He went to the phase of 5 centre-backs, which I think is where Mikel Arteta is at the moment. He's still in the past with that one. But so I think it's Pep, to be honest, Chris. And I think Pep is the best manager of all time. But I'll go to you, Chris. Who's your pick?
I think, your youthful exuberance is letting you down there, because I don't think you could. No, I mean, for me, I think he's just ruined football and the way it's played anymore. And maybe that is a generational thing. But, some of the games you watch these days, I used to enjoy watching other teams play. I can remember, I'm sure some of you guys can as well, Liverpool beating Newcastle 4-3. Would I want to watch Manchester City versus, I don't know, Tottenham now? Bloody hell, no. I mean, the sooner that Pep buggers off, the better, to be honest with you, because all everybody's done is decided, that's the way to play. And you've got to say, could Pep do it, with a Rochdale or with a, somebody like that? Wherever he's been, he's had money, if you like. Barcelona weren't short of it. Fergie did it at Aberdeen, who were a very unfashionable Scottish club, weren't even in the top 2, which means something in Scotland. So I don't think you can look past Fergie except for one person, and I'm very, very surprised that nobody has come up with this name, because I think I don't think you can look past the Sean Dyche.
Sean Dyche?
No. Sean Dyche. I mean, all hail the man. So he's Sean. No, I'm fucking joking. Of course I am.
I'll tell you what. With these comments, Chris, about how you think Pep's destroyed football and all of that, I think we've got a new sound effect, and it sounds a little bit like a dinosaur, mate.
Look, if you're happy getting bored, I mean, look, don't get me wrong. When we had Enzo, it was great. We were 17 points clear. It's all, at the end of the day, it's all about getting the 3 points. But if we can be entertained as well, I'd like to say I would not watch any other game than Leicester now, where before I used to watch a lot of the games. I had Sky, I'd watch the Super Sundays, I'd watch the games. Now it bores the fucking socks off me. But you've got to go with Fergie. because what Fergie did, and I think Anil and possibly even Gaz referred to it, he did it, but then he did it again. And then he did it again. You know, he had a team. He wasn't scared of dismantling it and starting again. He knew, you know, what other manager would have let David Beckham go when he did? You know, when you look at the players that he let go, and he was
going over the wall, didn't he?
He had the balls to do that.
Yeah,
and
we didn't have the balls to let go of Van Nistelrooy until it's too late.
Well, don't. I'm still getting counselling for that.
I was going to say, Chris, though, like you say, oh, well, it's boring football, but I mean, I don't think winning 6 titles in 9 years is boring for the Man City fans, is it? I bet
No. Like I said, I wasn't bored when Enzo got a 17 points clear at the top of the first division, you know. But I'm not saying it was the most exciting football I've ever watched, and I will watch it because it's my team. But I wouldn't go and watch Manchester City play Spurs or whatever like I would used to have done.
Here's a curveball for you then, Locks, before we move on. What if the Chargers stick? Where does you?
Oh, that's a good one. That is a good one.
Well, I think
Chargers stick.
Yeah, for me, I mean, look, you're currently seeing like Arteta and Enzo Maresca spend hundreds of millions of pounds. And they're not winning the title, right? They're not winning the title.
True.
I think that you know, Pep, you know, I just think it's lazy to say, oh, it's because of the money that they've spent, because it's not always the case. I mean, you've seen them sign some players that, you know, they come in and you're like, who, and they turn into incredible talents. And yes, they were big money, but they're not like proven players or anything. So, and he works them and he gets the best out of a lot of players. He also ruins players as well. I will say that. I mean, Jack Grealish. Yeah, Klopp's nowhere near it. Man. Come on, one title, one Prem. Nah.
One season when we did a lot. I tell you who we've also not mentioned, and that is Claudio Ranieri.
Wow.
Because at the end of the day, it was only one season, but look at the team that he did it with.
Yeah. Yeah, no, so it's fair. It's fair. Right, let me move on, Anil. I want to come to your keeper. Who do you think is the best Premier League goalkeeper of all time?
I mean, this is the easiest one of the lot, isn't it? It's got to be Mads Hermansen. But no, it's another Dane. It's another
a West Ham fan, is it?
It is, of course, Peter Schmeichel, unbelievable goalkeeper. I think he single-handedly won a lot. The fact that he also won the Euros with Denmark says it all. I mean, I think rather than speaking of the obvious ones, is there anyone that could even come close to him? Maybe you could say Petr Cech, because he was in that Chelsea team that I think only conceded 15 goals one season. I think Van der Sar, who actually didn't replace Fergie Schmeichel immediately, but did after a few seasons, was actually low-key very good. But for me, it's got to be the original Schmeichel, the starfish save, the amount of time. He's like, I honestly go as far as saying he's the only keeper I've ever seen where when a striker was one-on-one with him, I fancied the keeper to win that duel. There's something about it that he was so good, commanding in his box, great distribution. Top player.
I think that style came from playing handball in Denmark.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yes. So if you ever watch it, not that I'm an avid handball fan, but, you see that kind of like starfish jump because the player and the ball are so close together at the same time. And reading his book, he played a lot of handball. But
I think that is. Yeah, I think that's what it is, guy. I've read that as well, mate. I've read that as well. I mean, you said it's obvious, so I'm guessing you're going with Schmeichel as well, are you?
Casper's dad, yeah.
You're going with him.
Yeah, he's exactly what Neil's saying. He's pretty peerless, and I think it's really difficult, isn't it, for a goalkeeper to be a star of a team. But as kind of some of the players were leaving Man United, and I think when you look at like the '99. The treble winning team, he was almost like the star of that kind of like defense. Famed, wasn't he, for getting to the edge of the box, shouting at his defenders, just really kind of commanding things. And even to this day, I know the position has changed massively, isn't it, with all these footballing keepers passing up from the back. But no, you can't go further than Schmeichel for me.
His long throws, though, and his long kicks are really good.
Wild.
So maybe you could say his short passing wouldn't have been there. But they scored a lot of goals that were direct assists because he would just corner, claim it, pushing everyone out the way.
Bomb.
He did that amazing long throw, and it was just like, again, just like laser accurate, and you know, to Giggs, and the rest is, you know, what's going to happen.
Spoiling the rest of the team now.
Yeah, I know you're gonna have a Welsh player.
A Welshman with Giggs, well, call me
Well,
shot.
Welsh contingent, no doubt.
Chris, who are you going with, mate? Because I'm actually, look, when we pick teams like this, you know, we'll all do it differently, really. I think, you know, some of us might go more based off like longevity as well as quality. I mean, you could look at a player who's been in the division for a short period of time but was incredible. And I mean, I'll say it because I haven't actually got him in, but I really, really wanted to put bloody Gareth Bale, but he doesn't get in it because he didn't perform in the Premier League at the level. Yeah, he didn't perform at that level for long enough in the Premier League. But Chris, I'm going Petr Cech. I'm going Petr Cech. Again, it's probably shown the age, of course, but I think Petr Cech is again longevity. I know Peter Schmeichel had longevity as well, but Petr Cech. For was it 20 years, maybe a little bit more than that, 20 years in the Premier League. He's broken many records as well. That's who I'm
Broke
going
his
with.
head as well.
Yes, of course. Yeah,
That wasn't his fault.
No, Chris.
I get that, and if it was Petr Cech, I couldn't argue with that. You know, it's a fair shout. But I'm glad Gaz said that, you know, it was Kasper Schmeichel's dad. Otherwise, I wouldn't have known which Schmeichel he was going on about. But also, have we forgotten, you know, Ron Robert Zieler? Again, you know, as somebody that I think, you know, you've got to start looking at home. But no, it's Peter Schmeichel every day of the week for me. Again, it might be an age thing, longevity, the fact that. If you're ever doing one of these, you've got to look at it and go, how many trophies did they win? Definitely. And you know, I lost count how many you won, but like I think, you know, Anil said earlier, you never thought that, you know, he was going to be beaten. Like, you know, you said if a player broke through and you got Danny Ward stood there, you'd put your money on the goal, wouldn't you? But you probably with Peter Schmeichel, you'd put the money on the save. Fantastic. And let's be honest with you, when we got Kasper in, the excitement was the fact that it was Peter's son.
Yeah, 100. Chris, do you not like a bit of semen?
Depends where. I mean, you know the similarities between, and I'm going to take it down this show now. The similarities between the Townsend Torreston Herald of Free Enterprise ferry and Joan Collins, both full of dead seamen. Anyway,
Chris. Late night, Leicester. There we go. There's
anyway, you did tell me what. You know what I'm like, and you keep asking me on.
Setting him up, and he's knocking him out the park.
Yeah, we're gonna go midfield. Might be a different situation, but we're going with the back four. So a nil right back. What are you saying, mate?
Okay, this I think is one that's up for debate. I thought quite hard about it, but in the end, it probably please you lot. I've gone for Kyle Walker. I think you could say that defensively he maybe is not the most solid, but I think he's won 5 Premier League titles. At his peak, his pace was absolutely ridiculous. Yeah. I mean, he could mark Mbappe and Vinicius Jr. out of the game, one of the few people that could do that. So I think he's very good. I mean, other considerations, maybe people will go for Gary Neville. For me, I think he was a bit boring, a bit too steady Eddie. There might be some other Trent Alexander-Arnold. For me, couldn't defend either.
Oh, God.
But I think, I think Kyle Walker, because I think he was also pivotal to the way that the team played. Very good going forward. Sometimes he even played as a right centre-back as well. So sure, he wasn't terrible at defending. More of a modern style. Actually, in the Premier League right now, I think, isn't he? No, he's gone to Italy, hasn't he? So, but actually been a recent thing. So, yeah, I just think that the longevity, he was athletic even later on in his career. I think he's a good choice. He'd fit into most teams. But I've got a feeling that this one might be controversial for me to say that.
Well, I've gone Kyle Walker as well. I mean, there are others out there. I mean, Ivanovic, Branislav Ivanovic was a cracking player. Yeah, back in the day. I don't think he's anywhere near it, but you've got Zabaleta as well. You've got players like this. I'm sure there's some older ones. Lee Dixon, was he a right back? I'm pretty sure he was right back. But I've gone Kyle Walker. What are you saying, Gaz? I'll come to you next.
Yeah, I think if you're looking at longevity and trophies, you probably pick Gary Neville. But I remember watching him, and he was never exciting. He was never an exciting kind of player who got you off your seat. I think he famously scored like 2 goals in his career. And I think he owed a lot of his success to the quality of David Beckham and the players around him, which you could say for lots of players, couldn't you? But I think the difference between Neville and Walker was it was consistency versus like Leicester in pace. Kyle Walker was special, and he was equally as effective at Tottenham at City. He's always been like a flag bearer really for that position.
Gaz, can I ask you, do you think Gary Neville would be as good in today's game?
I don't think he would he would work in today's game. Yeah. That kind of like slow build overlapping fullback is you're looking at inverted fullbacks. I don't think he would work. Having said that, he was solid in lots of other areas of the game, wasn't he? Obviously, like my expertise, the long throw, like he was, it's always a bonus. Like, but no, the other guy you mentioned, Lux, was Zabaleta. Now, I think he was pretty. I think he was pretty iconic in Pep's early City teams in kind of like turning their fortunes. And I think he was really underrated as well because, again, we speak about Trent, Walker, Zabaleta. They could get forward and they were effective in the final third of the pitch. And I think really, like, that's what we're looking at, isn't it? It's how effective can you be? Like, and Neville was never going to win you a game, was he? He might save you a couple, but he's never going to win you one. Whereas I think the other guys we've mentioned could. So I'd be more inclined to go with Trent or Kyle Walker.
I think Trent's crazy. Personally, I think Trent's
I agree with that as well. He's not even getting into the Madrid team for that reason. But you can look at he has won the European Cup, Premier League twice. So,
Things I've seen Trent do with the football. There's not many right backs that can do what he did with the football.
Ivanovic or even Azpilicueta, I can never say his name properly.
Yeah.
I think
but again, I feel they're more solid. They don't. It depends what you want out of your fullback. But for me, I think. Hey, what does Chris think?
Yeah, go on, Chris. What are you saying, mate?
A couple of things that have been said, because I've gone Gary Neville again. A Man United. Can I just say, when you see my 11, I'm not a Man United fan, but go on, give it a go and change your nappy for God's sake. No, you say he's not exciting. What is a right back? What do you want your right back to be? You want your right back to be there, to be solid, to get the ball, pass it forward. And you said he did well because he got Beckham in front of him. Well, that wasn't his fault. You know what I mean? No. Who is that, by the way?
Anil, not me. My hands are here.
Oh, that's Anil, is it? So I'm sorry. I don't want an exciting centre back. I want a centre back that will do his job and do it. He said he's never going to win you a game, but again, he's your right back. You want your right back to stop the opposition winning the game. So
I hear you. I
disagree with you guys. I'm sorry. It's Gary Neville.
I want everyone to score goals. That's all. I want everyone to score goals all the time.
I mean. Right. I was going to say, Chris, like Danny, you look at like Richie Delat for Leicester was more of the attacking fullback. He got dropped within a few games for Danny Simpson, right? And look what happened. Yeah. So, right, let's move on to centre backs. Now, have we all got JT?
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Yeah, okay, cool.
No.
Oh, Anil wouldn't here, was he?
Mate, you are crazy. What do you mean? Go on, you go first and give us your two.
Yeah, because I was going to say it's a partnership. Now, of course, that is an obvious one. He is really good, and I've got no problem if you do pick John Terry, other than the fact that he shagged his teammate's wife. But other than that, even despite that, as a player,
come on, that's bonus points. That is, come on,
maybe.
Wait until we get on to gigs.
People don't give enough credit to Ricardo Carvalho because I think between the two of them, that's what made that partnership so solid. But if you look at the amount of titles that were won and the consistency, I actually went for Vidic and Ferdinand over them. And I think especially Vidic, right? Vidic is what I think one of the most underrated defenders in Premier League history, right? When he first came to Man United, he came from Spartak Moscow, I think, as well. So people weren't really expecting that much. And he's ultimate hard man. And all of a sudden, they were rock solid. He won everything aerially. And him and Rio Ferdinand were a great combination because he had one player then who had the confidence to go out and play because he had Vidic there to help out. So, and I actually think of the two of them, even though Rio will probably be the one that gets like all the flowers for being class on the ball and all that, I actually always preferred Vidic. I just think I very rarely did I see him make a mistake, I think, until he got a bit older towards the end of his career. But he won the Premier League 5 times, like I say. I think he was an absolute colossus. So you could easily go for the Chelsea pairing. I wouldn't have a problem with that because they were in that season that they only conceded 15 goals. JT did it for a long time. Again, kind of similar. I think JT was more the Vidic and Carvalho was more the Ferdinand of that combination. Carvalho also had pace like Rio Ferdinand, so they're very good. People are also talking about Van Dijk.
No,
he would be close. For me, I think he needs a few more seasons. But yeah, but say if Liverpool win the title again this season, that'd be 3 league titles in the European Cup that he's won. So, you know, there's also some crazy stat. Like I remember Van Dijk played in the Premier League for the first 5 years in the Premier League, no one ever dribbled past him, not once. Right. And he was playing in a high line team, not a team that was sitting back like a lot of the Mourinho teams did. So that's even more of an insane stat. So you have to say he's a great player. So I think all of these players, Tony Adams not a bad shout there either. But yeah, I think partnership. And I just think that Man United team that had Ferdinand and Vidic, the sort of second coming, I think they're underrated. Like I say, 5 league titles is extremely impressive. And I think that was a really good partnership. But like I say, if you go JT, it's top player.
Well, this is what I'm saying. We're all going to pick the teams differently as well. Like your idea there, you've picked a partnership, which I think is a good way to do it. I'll come to you next, guys. I'm going JT, and this one might be a little bit controversial. I'm going Vincent Kompany. What are you going with, guys?
Ooh. See, I liked him until he scored that goal against us. And that's
yeah.
But I mean, Company again. We was talking about Zabaleta earlier. He kind of feathered in that Pep era, didn't he? You know, and really kind of like solidified them as a solid team. And you know, it all starts from centre back, really. So yeah, he really, in recent memory, you know, I think he retired a bit early as well, Vincent Kompany. I think there was more gas in the tank there.
See, that's what I'd have against him. I agree with you on that. But he's a top player for sure. And also, to be fair to him, Kompany was in both those Man City teams, right? He was playing when they had, I think he was there even when Mancini was there. He was definitely there when Pellegrini was there, and he was there when Pep was done it. So that is longevity when 3 different managers, and you know you've done well for all of them.
He was brought through. Sorry, I was just going to say.
No, you're good.
Kompany was brought through literally not long after the takeover.
Yeah, the original FM wonder kid that lived up to the billing. Yeah.
So he saw it all the way through, basically. But go on, Gaz, mate.
Oh no, I'm just again very concerned about showing my age by you and talking about the likes of Steve Bruce and Gary Pallister. But I think we'll meet somewhere in the middle, and I think Sol Campbell is in with a shout as well. Probably wouldn't pick him in the team. I just think we've mentioned the main offenders of me, like Thierry and Rio. But we haven't really spoke about Rio, have we? I think he's the most titles for centre back in the Prem. You know, that's got to come into it somewhere, isn't it? If we're talking about success, and he was unplayable on his day, wasn't he? You know, I can remember, you know, when the likes of Drogba were just terrorising the league, he would shut them down. Do you know what I mean? I know, again, we're talking about partnerships and pairings, but Rio was a special player on his day, so I'd probably be looking to squeeze him in somewhere.
Yeah, so you're going Terry and Rio. Yeah?
Terry and Ferdinand, I think, would be the pick for me.
Chris, I know you've got JT as well, mate. So who's your other centre back?
Do you want to get the dinosaur ready for again?
Just move your mouth, Chris, while that plays.
You know what they call a lesbian dinosaur, don't you?
Go on.
Nicolotopus. Anyway.
You're off your head, mate. You're off your fucking head.
Hey, okay, like I say, you invite me. I'm surprised you have me back, but there we go. A couple here one that's been mentioned, because I did think Rio to start with, Rio and John Terry. I think John Terry's a shoe-in. Tony Adams is a great shout, I think. A one-club man. He 66 caps for England. He gave blood for England, didn't he? Those of us that again are dinosaurs who can remember that. The other one I'd like to give an honourable mention to, and probably wouldn't get in above those, would be Robert Huth.
Come on, Chris, don't take the piss.
Come on, hey, he's done it at a
Not
few
about
clubs.
face.
He's won the Prem.
No, don't be silly. But no, he won titles with Chelsea.
Yeah.
He
He won one title. Title.
It's a title. It's one more than anybody that's played for Spurs has got. And it's. I think he does offer that. But I am going to go John Terry and Tony Adams.
Does anybody here then not have Ashley Cole at left back, or have we all got Ashley Cole?
Oh, it would. Oh.
So Chris, me and you have got Ashley Cole, yeah?
Yes, indeed.
Okay, I'll come to Gaz first this time. Who have you got a left back, mate?
Literally gone completely off piece by you, but Stuart Pearce.
Okay.
Wow. Old fashioned, hardcore, rock kicking left back with old Stuart Pearce. Obviously, Ashley Cole is the sensible choice, but I thought we've got to mix it up a little bit, haven't we?
Yeah.
Penalty taker, captain, again in that Peter Schmeichel mode, the kind of like the center of the team, even though he's playing in that left back position, and possibly I know we're talking about Premier League here, but I think when he was kind of in his pomp, England were really kind of pushing for trophies on the world stage as well. He's a pretty special player, Stuart Pearce. Lots of brilliant stories about him and Cloughie as well.
Yeah,
which obviously you've probably heard podcasts and stuff from Mark Crosley, but brilliant. Yeah, so I've gone a bit off piece there with Stuart Pearce.
That's a good shout, though.
It's an interesting one. And Neil, have you gone Dennis Irwin?
How have we not gone for Victor Christensen here? Come on, guys. 2 relegations now. Yeah, I did go for Dennis.
Why are we mentioning him? No,
just being a troll there. Yeah, Dennis Irwin. Saw him play a lot of times. The guy could play with both foot. He's one of those players I couldn't tell you to this day what his best foot was. You could even pick Dennis Irwin at right back, even though he most of the time played on left back. Right. He scored loads of goals. Set piece delivery was amazing. I don't think he ever missed a penalty. He was one of those that he was as steady as Gary Neville, but he was actually good on the ball, so he could attack as well. So he's one of those players that, despite his age, I'm convinced Dennis Irwin would easily adapt to today's game. He'd probably be an inverted fullback and be sick of that position because he could play with both feet, turn out of trouble and play. So I think he's one of those that because people didn't really see him play, they don't know how good he is. Ashley Cole, of course, very good player. Bonus points for banging Cheryl Tweedy. Fair play, right? But I do think Ashley Cole, I know maybe I'm being harsh because I was going to say Ashley Cole wasn't that good defensively, but he was probably the only player in Premier League history that could actually go 50-50 with Cristiano Ronaldo. So he does deserve a lot of credit for that. So he was a very good player. But yeah, I just think there was something about the way that he played. I think Dennis Irwin was a baller, great footballer.
Okay. What's everybody got, like, as in numbers in midfield? Have we all got 3 midfielders?
I've gone.
Well, yeah, I've gone for the 4-2-3-1. So yeah, 3 central midfielders if you're talking.
Yeah,
about
I've gone 4-2-3-1. Yeah.
Right. Let me go with So right, I'm gonna do what I've done with Ashley Cole and stuff. Who's got Lampard? Who's got Gerrard?
Sorry, I did have Lampard.
Okay, you got Lampard. Right, I'll tell you what. I thought there would be more answers there, so I'll just go around. So give me your 3, Neil.
I'll go last, because I keep going first with this stuff.
Chris, you first.
All right. The other 3 central midfielders or wingers. Frank Lampard, Ronaldo on the right.
Wait, hold on. What fucking formation are you playing here, mate?
4-2-3-1. You've asked for the 3. Are we going for the 2 defenders here?
Yeah, the midfield. Yeah, not the wingers, just
Not
the
the
midfielders.
wingers.
The 2. So the 2 central defenders. Yeah.
do that. Yeah, do that.
All right. 2 central defenders: Patrick Vieira and Roy Keane.
Okay, interesting. Yeah,
See,
nice.
I've gone
Two-
for
two
both
good
of those
shots.
as well.
Oh, okay.
At least Neil's agreed with me for something. Yes.
So
Because I
have
think
you?
both those players, they don't get enough credit for also being really good on the ball. There was a season that Roy Keane, I think, scored 14 goals or something like that. Vieira was like box to box, unbelievable. They'd win all the duels, the proper captains. I mean, you're fair enough, right? Steven Gerrard is an amazing player, but he never won the Premier League. Is the thing that now you could argue that do you need to have won a Premier League to be one of the best players in it of all time? But I mean, to have never won it once.
Yeah, he might have done if he'd had the balls to leave Liverpool and go to Chelsea.
Well, not only
How
that,
many-
but famously they could have won the Premier League and he slipped.
Well, this is true.
That's true.
This is true.
Yeah. So Anil and Chris have both mentioned their 2 defensive midfielders. How many defensive midfielders have you got in your team, Gaz?
Just the central. I've gone 4-3-3. Like
Okay, so who's your central man there?
Leighton Ortley's Roy Keane. Roy Keane 100%. In terms of it's unreal. If you ever get time, to just go and watch highlights of Roy Keane playing in the Premiership, that man bossed every game he played. It was unreal to watch it week in, week out. There was no one who could beat him mentally. There was no one who could beat him physically. He was unreal, which is, I think, led. We talked about Fergie earlier, but I think Roy Keane had a big part in that team's success. Big part in that team's success for a long time. And Neil said that guy could score as well. And he knew when to score, if that made sense. He wouldn't just mindlessly walk forward. If that team needed to attack, he knew what had to be done to attack. Score goals with both feet, score goals with his head. Yeah. But like you say, he wasn't an outright goal scorer, a la Gerrard. But he knew what the team needed done. And I think if you've got him in the centre, I think everything else will work itself out.
So go on, give us another one then, Gaz, because these guys have both done 2.
Obviously, I'm going to pick Giggs, and obviously I'm going to pick Ryan Giggs.
He's meaning of the central players.
Sorry.
No, I only had the one. I've just got one in the middle and across the middle, 3 across the middle. I've got. So I've got.
So you're playing Giggs. Okay, you're playing Giggs like central midfield, basically.
Oh wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very attacking.
The role that he played
as well.
The role that he played when Fergie won the league with his scratch team, which effectively when he's dropped off from being a winger and he would be more of a midfield player. And Scholes on the right side of midfield. And that's who I'd have. Simple as
I
that.
was so close to picking Scholes because I think, to be fair, Scholes and Keane together as a combo, because you'd have Keane as the 6 and Scholes more as like the box-to-box. But for me, I just felt that I'd have no problem if you pick Scholes, but I just think Vieira and Keane were just like,
the difference
they could lead. They could win a game by themselves.
And Vieira, when you said it, I'm thinking physically, he was
unbelievable
much more of a presence than Paul Scholes was. But tactically, Scholes was, again, he's a special player, wasn't he?
I mean, this quote says it all. So it says, Zidane was once asked how it felt to be the best midfielder in the world. He replied, "Ask Paul Scholes." Xavi said the same thing, didn't he? They said, who did you base your game on? And he said, Paul Scholes. And people were like, what? The Ginger Ninja? He was like, yes,
really. Man, the ghost. Yeah.
Chris, just so I know, have you gone 4-4-2? Or have you've got another midfield, so you've got one more midfielder. So tell us.
I've got 4-2. I've gone 4-2-3-1.
So you've got an attacking midfielder next, yeah?
Yeah.
So give us that. Go on.
It's Frank Lampard.
Okay.
Read it in. Read it in.
From midfield, I don't think anybody's got more goals than him from midfield. And there's always this thing like Lampard and Gerrard couldn't play together when it was England. Well, I'm sorry, drop Gerrard and keep Lampard. And who can remember? Have you ever seen it on YouTube when Harry Redknapp was West Ham manager, and he'd got a very, very young Frank Lampard sat next to him, and he somebody in the one of the fans, because of course we know nothing, questioned why he was sort of playing this guy, And he basically tore into this fan and, said one day this guy will be one of the best players in the world. He wasn't wrong. He wasn't wrong. And like I say, if it had to be for me, Lampard or Gerrard, it'd be Lampard every time and twice on a Sunday.
And Neil, who's your third midfielder, mate?
Kevin De Bruyne. That's in the camp. There are some other good shouts here. People have said you could have Scholes there, you could have Lampard there, you could have Bergkamp as a 10. But I just think I don't think he gets the respect he deserves. Like I don't think it's a surprise that Man City have started to go cactus. He actually faded and got a bit old, Kevin De Bruyne. There's some other ones you could pick, maybe David Silva even in there. Another very good player that's criminally underrated, but he's just one of those that if you've played midfield and you see KDB play, it's just, Jesus Christ. I mean, he's just so good. The first touch, the passing, the awareness, the vision. Could also score clutch goals a lot of the time. I think Guardiola himself said that the main table is where Messi and Ronaldo sit, but on the table next to him is where KDB sits. So he rated them that highly, and obviously he coached Messi. So definitely, but I mean, just look at the amount of titles he won. Did win the Champions League in the end of those, a Premier League show, not Champions League. But I just think consistency, doing it for a long time. The only time he ever did badly is he couldn't stop 15-16 Leicester, could he? That's the only black mark you can have against his name. But I think he was great, and I think with the way that I've set up, you need to have a player like that who's technical and creative, and I think he would combine with the other two. But there's other good choices, but I just think, respect on his name. I think he's an amazing player.
Well, but before I come to you guys for your third, I'm just going to say my three. I've got Lampard and KDB, so I agree with you both there. My defensive midfielder or the centre there is N'Golo Kante.
Yeah, that's a good choice. That is
great.
A good choice.
Yeah, I've forgotten about N'Golo Kante. Fucking hell, yes.
He's so quiet.
Yeah, that's obviously again. I'm younger, right? So I didn't see as much of these older players. However, I would have Kante over a Vieira. Personally,
what about Rodri?
I think Kante was better. I think
Rodri won the Ballon d'Or as a CDM, the only CDM in history to have done it.
But but where didn't Kante finish like top 15 or something?
Kante won the league with Leicester, and then because he was bored, just won the league again the next season with Chelsea. And
didn't he win the Champions
League
and
the World Cup?
Yeah.
Serial winner.
And to do it as such a short player, but what maybe you could say against him, maybe compared to the others, he didn't have as much consistency, but still a top player.
Yeah. Go on, guys. So far you've got Keane, Giggs.
I've realised the error of my ways, and it's gonna have to be KDB, Keane, and Scholes. It's gonna have to be.
That is an attacking team.
It's gonna have to be KDB, Scholes, and Keane. Yeah, KDB was special, unreal, and exactly as you said, it's no coincidence that City are finding themselves in a spot of bother in that position. Now he's not there. Creatively outstanding. The passes, man alive, like pass it, put a ball anywhere. He can put it anywhere, anytime. And I think it's no coincidence, like that. Yeah, they're struggling without him.
Yeah. Right, let's get to the excitement bit. So we've all got two wingers and a strike here, just to be sure. Great. Okay. Sound. Let's go with it doesn't really matter, but I'll say the right winger to start with. So let me come to Chris first this time, mate. Who have you got as your right winger, or just one of the wingers? It doesn't really matter too much.
Cristiano Ronaldo. And it sticks in my throat to have to say it because he is such an arrogant little sod. And I think now I totally disregard any records he gets now because he's playing in the shittest league going but earning lots of money. So he's going to get all the records now. Yes, Steve, yes. He was unstoppable, wasn't he?
He won the Ballon d'Or, Chris. He won
the Ballon d'Or, yeah. For me, he was one of the best. I say it does hurt me to say that, but there we go.
So I'll come to you next, Anil. I've not gone Ronaldo. Now I was and ahhing for the right on the right between two players who I think might be controversial for some people, but I was going between Salah And I was also, again, he plays on the left, but also Hazard, because I've got somebody on the left who's not non-negotiable. Now, Hazard more because I just loved watching him. I just thought, on the eye, I think he's one of the best footballers that's played in the Premier League on the eye. I'm going to go, I said Hazard earlier, but I'm going to go Salah. And I just think, what is it? 8 years now? 8 years he's been doing it, 7 years he's been doing it for Liverpool.
Stats he's got. I went Salah as well. I had Ronnie as well, but I had Ronaldo on the left wing. But he could play. I mean, he got rotated across the front three during his career. So, I mean, arguably, you could say his actual breakout season, the Ballon d'Or, he was actually playing more centrally. So you could even argue that he was there, right? But yeah, I had him left wing. I mean, Hazard was good, but I would say that if you look at his stats, but you know what? He was good enough to win the Ballon d'Or, but didn't. And I think he just loved his burgers too much, which I think is a crime we can all identify with, can't we?
Absolutely. I mean, he had Ronaldo and Messi ahead of him, so he was never going to win it.
No, he was. Honestly, he was good enough to do it. Like if you look at his dribbling and his stats, but that's what I'm saying. I don't think he had because Ronaldo. The thing with him is he was a machine, right? Do you ever remember that Nike advert where he gets like body swapped with this like young kid coming through, and then you see him like putting the backpack on with bricks and he's running? It's like you bet he was like that. Right, that guy, even to this day, he's so competitive. That is why he's an arsehole, but why he's so good, because he's so competitive, right? Hazard didn't have that, but I mean, he was a great player to watch. I would love to see a player like that at Leicester for sure, but don't think he's on the same echelon as the others. But yeah, I went Mo Salah as well. Just I think his longevity is incredible to be top scorer that many times. It's just like, is there ever been a season when he's not been worth putting in your FPL team? No, is the answer. So even if he costs 95% of the budget for your team that season, he'll still pay it off. He's just that good. So I think you'd have to go Mo Salah as one on the wing as well. But I want to hit other people. There's still quite a few other people you could pick in either position, I think.
Yeah, go on, Gaz. I'll come to you. So I did go for Salah. So me and Anil went Salah. Chris has gone Ronaldo.
We left all right now. We left all right.
Either.
Just
give them both.
Right. Yeah.
We've got to find a place for Henry, haven't we? We've got to find a place to get Thierry Henry in there because, again,
give us your two. Give us your two wingers.
Cristiano is a must. I feel. I'm torn between Salah and Henry because they remind me. I'm torn. They remind me a lot of each other in terms of like when they're there. It's almost a cert they're going to score. It's almost a cert they're going to make something happen. They're so good at like decision making. They're so good at doing the right thing in the right position. But it's just my era. I think Thierry Henry was, again, like unplayable on his day. He scored some goals you've never seen since. The goal against Fabian Barthez, the flick and the turn, that's just iconic. And in the Premier League, you know, the length of the field dribble against Tottenham, Thierry Henry was unplayable on his day.
But you're having him as a winger, not up front.
Well,
no, I've gone winger.
I'm having him as a striker. I'm not having him as a striker. I'm having him early Arsenal on the wing. I'm not. My strikers are already.
Well, that was those first 10 games he was on the wing, where he scored them up.
You know, I like the Welsh. I have a lot of time for the Welsh.
Unconventional, Chris. Unconventional. We do what we want.
Yeah.
My striker's locked in already. There's no even Thierry Henry's not top in his class.
Yeah, no, but I agree with you because I've gone Ronaldo and Henry as well.
Yeah,
You're back on terms now, Chris. Me and you.
I've gone Salah on the right and Henry on the left as well. I've gone for the cop.
You lot are mental. He never played there. He was a striker for Arsenal. You're mad, lad. Why don't we just put Jamie Vardy at left back? I mean, what are you not smoking?
He won 4 Golden Boots.
Where did he play for Barca?
Yeah, there he didn't play. And what did he do for Barcelona? Didn't get into the team. Same with Juventus.
Yeah, I'm not a
we're doing the dark arts, Anil, to fit everybody we want in.
I have Henry in my team as well, but I've got him in the actual position he played. I guess is
there
what
you go.
Saying.
Tell us now, mate. I will go to you now. Tell us why.
Striker is Henry. There's many that you could pick, and I think you could argue that there are other ones that are stronger than him. But again, he's just a player that haven't seen him in person. Jesus Christ. There was even a time that I used to think, Henry goes missing in the big matches. And then against Man United, then if you remember that goal where he flicks it up with one foot, spins, and then smashes it in. I was actually at that game. We've got a friend who's an Arsenal fan, so sometimes get tickets to it. I was like, Jesus, okay, shut up. When you see him do that kind of stuff, he could run I think he just had it all. The pace was absolutely disgusting. Could play with both feet, but also pretty good physically. Could score headers and stuff like that as well, although not so many. But yeah, he could pick many players, and I still think you could say that Henry never won the Champions League for Arsenal, which maybe is something you could hold against it. But we're talking Premier League, and in the Premier League, I've never seen. I think you might pick someone, Docs, who I think is a very strong contender who could maybe push him. But I just think because of the longevity and consistency that Henry showed, I would pick him. I think he's good. Now, this says a lot because I'm pretty sure in one of the BTG group chats, I said that Henry was overrated. But I said that as a manager, not as a player. As a player, he was bloody good. So, yeah, I went for him up top. But there's some other good ones. Some people might pick Shearer. I think Shearer was good. I think Shearer was unlucky that peak Shearer, people forget this, before he got that injury that kept him out for a year, when Shearer was playing for Blackburn and Southampton, that guy was a fast fucker. People don't remember this. I seen him score quite a few goals where he picked it up on the halfway line and just ran with it and scored it, like almost like a white Ronaldo, R9 Ronaldo, not Cristiano Ronaldo. But after he got that injury, I think you got to give him so much credit to adapt his game and score that many goals without one of the best weapons he had. That is a top player. But because he didn't have it, I don't think he was as all-round and competent as Henry. So I went for Henry up top.
Right, I'm going to come to Chris next. But before I do, I'm going to say mine because it's going to get laughed out and it's never going anywhere near the final team. Again, similarly to when I was debating Hazard, I'm going to pick a striker that I just loved to watch because I thought he was box office in more ways than one. And I've gone Luis Suarez. I think Luis Suarez would get in my... And I'm not saying he's the greatest goal scorer or the greatest striker of all time, but he was my favourite striker to watch because of all the drama, the quality on the mat. I mean, that season where they should have won
I'll
the Premier
defend
League.
you, Locks. That's the best single season any players had in Premier League history.
Definitely scored the best hat trick of all time.
Yeah.
Yes, against Norwich, wasn't it? And I will say as well that, and he also scored one of my favorite goals of all time against Newcastle, where it came over the top. And he just took it one touch round. It was ridiculous. And I was going to say as well, people talk about Shearer being in an average team. Mate, that Liverpool team was average. If you go back and actually look at that Liverpool team, other than him, Coutinho and Gerrard, it was average. It was average. So, and at Barcelona as well, I used to love MSN obviously, but yeah, I think during that period of time at Barcelona, he was the greatest striker in world football at that time. So I've gone Suarez, but I understand it's a little bit of a hot take. But let me come next to you, Chris. Who have you got as your number 9?
I think you two have mentioned every striker in the Premier League between you, haven't you? I don't think with Suarez. I think when they signed him, they bit off more than they could chew.
Hey.
No, I can't. And look, you remember what he did for Uruguay when they're about to get knocked out of the World Cup. The guy is up there with Maradona. He is a cheat. And if there was a train coming into the station, I would push him off in front of it. I do not like the guy whatsoever. And I think when you're doing that sort of thing, I don't think you deserve any accolades at all. Like I say,
Tell us how you really feel about him, Chris.
He's got nails up my arse. I think there's a fair shout for, and you're going to laugh at this, but Jamie Vardy, 11 in 11. He's in the top 5 goal scorers in the Premier League. None of these guys that you've been mentioning could score 11 in 11. And when Ruud van Nistelrooy did it, he had to have a 3-month break halfway into it. And didn't he actually get 12, if we're going to be precise, because he got 2 in one game. So I think...
What are we doing by it? Why are we even discussing this, right? Wayne Rooney. Why have we
No, I didn't go Vardy. I said he should be considered.
Right.
I actually had Wayne Rooney down, mate.
Thank you, Chris.
I really did, but only as a honourable mention. Because for me, I had to, hurts to say this, but I agreed with Anil. Everything he said about Alan Shearer. I've gone, and again, it might be an age thing, but I've gone Alan Shearer because, again, he did it in unfashionable teams.
Yeah.
Rooney. When you look at the players he had around him, and of course, we can't support Rooney after what he did to our Rebecca, can we?
I remember, like, look at Jeremy Monga now. What he's doing, he's making men look like kids. He's got to be he already is such a good player. He's going to be really special. I remember a 16-year-old Wayne Rooney picking the ball up, taking it to the edge of the area, and just bending it in, bar down, up, past like the best keeper in the Prem at the time, and just like thinking, what is going on here? And I can remember all my mates down the park the next day trying to do the exact same thing, and just was never going to happen. But he made
was he actually a striker though, Wayne Rooney? Because towards the end of his time, they moved Ronaldo more up front, and he was kind of support.
They dropped him down.
But to be fair to Rooney, in my opinion, he was even better in that position, and he doesn't get enough credit for it, right?
I think he was more of a Swiss Army knife for Alex Ferguson. he would use him where he needed him. But Wayne Rooney, man, the goals he scored.
Is he your pick?
Yeah, man. Yeah, Wayne Rooney.
I think sometimes he is a bit of a forgotten man. For you know what I mean? It's just like
unreal
nowadays. I think some people just he doesn't make many Premier League all-time 11s that I see.
No. Older than Cristiano Ronaldo is Wayne Rooney.
Well, it's probably like you said, Anil and Gaz, like about how he played a couple of different positions, and that probably actually is to his detriment when you're picking a team like this, like different positions for different teams.
That's a fair comment, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
This is what we're saying, isn't it?
Do you remember him at DC United? He was playing as an 8. And he was doing well. He did well as an 8 as well. Have you seen that clip where
he did burn out quickly. Like by the time he hit 30, he was done by 28. I agree with that. I mean, he started at 16. That's the unfair thing about it.
Yeah, but look at that. Like Ronaldo was like at the cutting edge of science. He's like even Drago in Rocky 4, and he just and then you've got Rooney who's out banging grannies and getting smashed and still doing it on Saturday. So look at him, man. Happy days.
People mentioned it there. What about Haaland? Because in my opinion, maybe not right now, but if we did the same show 5 years from now, I can't see anyone not picking Haaland. And we will obviously never admit to this because he played for Spurs, but Harry Kane did score a lot of goals.
Yep. I think he's up there. Aguero as well. Aguero's up there.
Yeah, Aguero. Although again, I think for me, Aguero wasn't quite a true striker. He was more of like the false 9 type thing.
Yeah, I get you.
But I wouldn't say no to Aguero. He always used to score tons of goals against us, didn't he? If Aguero's played against Leicester, you might as well say Aguero hat-trick and captain him on Premier League.
You could say the same about Harry Kane, though, couldn't you?
Yeah, sadly.
Goal against.
So, Anil, as your pick, Henry was kind of, we've shoehorned him to the left because 2 of us, I think 3 of us, we all had him as a winger. Yeah. I'll let you decide on Suarez, Rooney, or Shearer.
That's a big,
I will say that I think objectively I would have to pick Shearer. Even though personally I would pick Suarez because I just think, as you say, I think he's when he played for the MSN team as well, he showed you how fucking good he was. Right, and that is the best single individual season I've seen anyone play, I think, in the Premier League. Even better than Haaland's record goal haul or that season where Salah went off Suarez, by the way, was suspended for 3 games that season. I think still scored 34 goals or something ridiculous like that. So it's insane. But I mean, yeah, I think just Shearer, the longevity, did it for an unfashionable team, did it despite having a serious injury, still came back. Old-fashioned, but also I think was unfairly, he could do other things as well, like link up the play and stuff like that. So I think, Big Alan, I think you just put him in any team and you can just score a goal anytime. Just like anytime. So good in the air as well. So freaking good in the air.
Wasn't even that big. Fascinating.
I was going to say, this isn't, I know you started it now. This isn't exactly true, is it? I mean, he was very,
Conscious is normally so knowledgeable, but he won the Ballon d'Or when he was at Man United in the Premier League and then went to Real Madrid. So I know what he's saying. He's saying he absolutely went to another level at Real Madrid. But before Rodri won it, in my lifetime, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, I guess Michael Owen technically won it as well, right? Because he won the the European, before there was a Ballon d'Or, there was like the European
Player of the
Footballer of the
Year.
Year. Michael Owen won that, right?
I think he
So-
won the actual Ballon d'Or as well.
Yeah.
Did he? Okay, well, fair
Yeah,
play
yeah.
to him then. So I was going to say the only 3 players I can remember that won it, actually being in the Premier League, has been Rodri, Cristiano Ronaldo, and then Michael Owen. Actually, maybe you should talk Michael Owen for striker, but what a wanker! I'm sorry, not for me. But yeah, I mean, I just think that's why. He was properly. Yeah, he was that. That was another outrageous season. Do you remember that goal he scored from like 40 yards out from a free kick against Porto in the
Ronaldo,
Champions League?
yeah.
But even in the Premier League, he was just like, oh my god, it's unbelievable. It was
He was
just
different level, yeah.
yeah.
So I want to just bring this up. So I've kind of gone through and I've been fair with the picks. I've just created a little team here from what we've all said. Just on who was voted the most and stuff. So this is the lineup that we've got here. So we've got Schmeichel, Walker, Ferdinand, Terry, Ashley Cole, Frank Lampard, and Roy Keane. KDB, Mo Salah, Henry, and Shearer. I think that's a pretty fair team.
You wouldn't mind that turning out against West Brom tomorrow night, would you?
You Lampard lovers have got it wrong. I think he's well overrated.
No, you can't say that, mate. He is the ultimate box crasher, mate. He is.
Yeah, but what about not box crashing? What else to his game? He did not have the technical ability. If you got Lampard above Scholes, you need to give your head a
would
roll.
you have
in
Gerrard
my
or
opinion.
Lampard though, Neil?
I would have Gerrard over Lampard for sure.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
What are you drinking?
Lampard was good, right? But he was lucky that he played in a system where basically Drogba sacrificed himself so he could get all the goals. He was top player for sure, but I mean, he wasn't like I said, if you look at technical quality compared to the others, he wasn't good. And I always thought people used to say, oh, is it Gerrard or Lampard? The question was, why is Lampard even in that discussion? It should be Gerrard or Scholes or both of those together. And they kept shunting Paul Scholes out to the left wing, where, as you say, Zinedine Zidane saying that this is the best midfielder in Europe. Knobs.
Yeah.
But just because he's a ginge, you don't get it.
He was manager of England. He kept putting Scholes on the left, didn't he?
Ericsson. But to be fair, I think there was a game, I think it was in Poland or something, that he put Paul Scholes on the left wing and he scored a hat-trick.
Bang goals in, yeah, he scored from anywhere.
Yeah. Or I don't know if you remember, just before World Cup 98, because of injuries, they ended up with a kind of top 2 of Paul Scholes and Ian Wright ahead of him, Le Tournoi, and England actually won that. And those two as a combination looked absolutely disgusting because you had someone who could feed the balls through and you had Ian Wright's pace over the top and stuff like that. And it's like, ironically, to be fair, the next Michael Owen emerged and stuff like that. But he was.
How haven't we spoken about Ian Wright?
Well, I was going to say the last question I was going to ask you all, and I'll come to you first, Gaz. I don't know if you want to say him or what, but you can change your mind. I was going to say one super sub to go off the bench.
I've let the Welsh down, haven't I? I've got to have a look at Ryan Giggs. I've got to have a look at him. We've got to have a look at him.
You can't pick who you've already picked. So somebody.
I thought he was going to say Gareth Bale, though. That's not a bad option.
Yeah, thanks, Gareth Bale. No, there's so many. My head's pulled in so many directions. I just want to squeeze Vardy in somehow, just because he's my favorite player of all time. But
go for Vardy. Go for Vardy if you want, mate.
Can we squeeze Vardy in somehow? Super Vardy.
Yeah, that's the super sub. Yeah, that's fair. Chris, your super sub, mate. Who are you going?
I think Gaz is going to love me here because I'm going to go for Ryan Giggs. You know, not necessarily in my first 11, but certainly, the super sub for me. You could easily say Vardy. I know where you're coming from with that, but for me, Ryan Giggs.
And Neil, before you steal it, because Gaz already nearly stole it, mine is Gareth Bale. I loved Gareth Bale. And I actually think that if Gareth Bale stayed in the Premier League, I think he would be in these all-time 11 picks
for sure.
over Salah.
Maybe he'd even get a Ballon d'Or. I don't know.
Would he have had to move clubs, though, lots?
Well, I said something. I've always said something very controversial. Very controversial. I think Gareth Bale's the best British player of all time. That's what I think. I think Gareth Bale is the best British player of all time. Sorry, but yeah.
If you're talking about his absolute peak, maybe I could agree with that. But he loved his golf too much, didn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. So go on, Anil. Who you picking for your super sub? Someone you didn't pick in your 11.
if we're talking about truly a super sub, as in good coming off the bench, maybe you got to throw in Oli Solskjaer. I mean, we didn't just do it. Didn't just do it in the Champions League. He did it very often in the things, but I could think of so many people that are good. Like I'm thinking even Berbatov, Carrick, you could give a shout to. Hazard, you picked, so I'd probably pick him because he didn't make my team. Do you know what? I think Riyad Mahrez is a criminally underrated player. It's just unlucky that Salah did. But again, Man City, all their fans will tell you that ever since Mahrez has gone, they look shit up top and they miss him, having him off the bench. Who else is exciting? Oh man, there's so many that I could probably think of. But do you know what?
We haven't.
Actually,
no one mentioned
I'll say
Drogba.
this: Robert Pires. Robert Pires was fucking godlike. That guy was a great player. You could even say Lundberg as well. Those two as the wingers. There was a season where him, Pires, and Lundberg both scored 20 goals from the wings. Disgusting. Bergkamp. Yeah. Oh my god, no, I'm picking Bergkamp. Sorry,
you're all right.
Bergkamp. So many good players.
Yeah.
Again, just off what the populace vote there between us all, I think this is the team we've gone for. KDB, I think is I was umming and ahhing about KDB. To be honest, if we're all honest, probably KDB for longevity, but Bergkamp probably gets in there over KDB, doesn't he? Really? Like if you're talking about quality, if you're talking about pure quality,
I think it depends on what system you're playing, right? Because technically he was more like 4-4-1-1 as a support striker, whereas KDB is more of a 10. But yeah, Bergkamp. I mean, the quality. Some of those goals. Again, you talk about Newcastle. They've got a bad record of scoring, letting some worldies against them. But that one again, where he does that on the spin turn, Bergkamp, the pirouette.
Who did he beat? Greek defender. I think he played for us.
Yeah, Dabizas.
Nicola Dabizas.
And Shea Gibbon. Yeah.
Ended his career one time.
He did.
yeah. Right. We are gonna. Someone mentioned Gaza, but I think his absolute best was just before the Premier, or just as the Premier League was starting. I think
he went to Lazio in '93. I think.
Yeah. So right, we're going to end it there. Thank you to everybody for Cantona. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Cantona, yeah. Chris is acting like a saint here, just shaking his head at all the people who have done questionable things. When can't imagine you as a footballer, Chris. I think you'd be biting people and kicking people.
I would be the Gareth Taylor Fletcher of the current football world. I don't know, Cantona. No, not for me.
We played for Leeds, didn't he? So we can't have him.
No, that is a good point, actually. I just sometimes think he only turned up when he wanted to. Sometimes.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Right. That's it for the show. Thank you to everybody for getting your comments and joining in and telling us who you want. We're going to be back live tomorrow for the watch along. Is kickoff definitely 8:00 or is it 7:45? I keep forgetting.
8.
It is 8:00. Okay, so we'll be live from 7:45, 7:40, something like that tomorrow. So you can join us for that one. And that's pretty much it. Cheers to Anil, cheers to Chris, cheers to Gaz. Thank you to you all. Thanks to everybody in the chat. Make sure to hit the like button. Make sure to hit subscribe. And we'll see you tomorrow night. Cheers all. Enjoy your evenings. Bye-bye. Massive thank you to today's sponsor, Match Bingo. Over 200 grand has been paid out to players so far by taking sports betting, football and bingo and combining them into one amazing app. Make sure to get your bingo card for any Leicester City game in the upcoming season. Click that link in the description or via the QR code on screen.